Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to One Identity On-Demand Services video review. In this next video, we will discuss on-demand services. I will summarize the most important differences between on-demand version of this product to the on-prem version of One Identity product. You will see how to get access to the service, and you will see how easy and fast to subscribe to all service. Currently, on-demand service supports two One Identity products. One is Identity Manager On-Demand Starling Edition. The other one is Safeguard On-Demand Starling Edition. Please join me to this very short video presentation. What is on-demand services? One Identity now offers security appliances in three different ways: as the traditional physical appliance or a virtual appliance, and now it is available as a service. That means that your security appliance is hosted by One Identity, it's running on One Identity Cloud. And the service is maintained by One Identity. That includes installation, provisioning, update, or manage the device. Of course, the configuration is the task of the customer. In case if you need, the regular support is available, so we can help you. And of course, the customer can securely connect its on-prem or cloud infrastructure via a secure connection with encrypted communication and strong authentication. One Identity offers three on-demand services. These are security appliances available online, Safeguard On-Demand, Identity Manager On-Demand, and PAM Essentials. We also offer extension services that are not standalone products. They need to work together with an on-prem or an on-demand appliances, just like Cloud Assistance, Safeguard, Remote Access Connect, and so on. This video is about the first two products, Safeguard On-Demand and Identity Manager On-Demand. Now let's see the major differences. First of all, Safeguard is served as a joint SPP and SPS appliances. In standalone mode, they are not available. One Identity maintains the backup. It's done by snapshots. One Identity manages the licensing, configures network settings, does patches and updates, set up the time of the device, and the support bundle. So the customer only needs to bother about configuration of the device and need to set up client-side connection. Now let's discuss about restrictions of SPP part of the service. First of all, API endpoints are restricted. It's there, you can see that, but typically you're going to get a bad gateway error because it's restricted. The second thing is that private connectivity is not available, which is a typical service of every SaaS vendor, but this is not available even if you are using an IPsec tunnel. The next thing is that ports are restricted. Even if you use IPsec tunnel, some ports are not available. Bootstrap admin, which is a root user of SPP, is maintained by One Identity. You will see it's there, but you cannot change its password. Active roles is currently not supported. You can't integrate SPP with active roles. SPP in cluster mode is not supported currently, and certificate-based authentication of the user is not available. Now see restricted functions of SPS. The similar way as SPP, root or admin user is not available because it's under control of One Identity. We are going to control that user, but of course you can always create new users. The user interface where you add users or manage your users is not available on SPS interface because we use the Starling interface to create users. The next thing is that you cannot create connections on the SPS interface. Why? Because you're going to manage it from the SPP side. So it is a SPP initiated connection, not an SPS initiated connection. Therefore, the device itself is in non-transparent mode. That means that you connect SPS interface, not the real target server. And more, zone redundancy and load balancing is not supported currently, and the similar way as SPP, certificate-based user authentication, is currently not supported. When you log in SPS interface, you will find that many of the menu points are not available. Here's the list and the reason. Basic settings. Many of the submenu points are not available because they are managed by one identity on one hand, or maybe it is not available or not supported currently, like high availability. User access. User menu management is not available on SPS interface because it's done via Starling interface. Policies, backup. As I mentioned before, it is maintained by one identity, so you don't need to bother about it. Audit data cleanup, also maintained by us or LDAP servers. The whole connection policy menu points are missing because we configure it via the SPP side, so there's no need to touch this menu point. We removed it. Gateway authentication and 4 eyes also not available because it's configured from the SPP side. And finally, the credential store unlocking is not available. The reason is because there's no need for that because the credential store now is the SPP side, not the integrated SPS credential store. What's the difference between on-demand version and on-prem version of Identity Manager? The two products are totally identical. The only one missing module is Data Governance module in on-demand version, because this module requires a direct access to the on-prem file resources, which is currently impossible. But the rest of the functionality is totally available. So what to do if you want to use on-demand services? At first, navigate to cloud.oneidentity.com and register. Sign in to Starling. Select your region, United States or Europe, because that helps you to select the data center you want to use. Select the product you want to try, configure the service, and then wait for the deployment. The deployment is totally automatic and it lasts around half an hour or a little bit more. When it's done, you can configure the service. Note that during the trial period, which is 30 days, you have exactly the same functionality with the purchased product or the purchased service. Exactly the same. So when the configuration is done, you can connect your on-prem network via the VPN, and now it's ready to start using the product. When you configure on-demand services, you have got two selections. We offer a 14 days fully configured lab environment for testing, or for those who already used Safeguard product, an empty configuration, so you can configure your service from scratch. You also need to set up the connection of your on-prem network. That means you need to configure the VPN setup. From the deployment process, a progress bar is going to inform you. You can download the quick start guide if you want. It's a PDF file. Behind the scenes, the system is going to create a license file, is going to provision the VA, and then configures, of course, the VPN connection as well. When the provision is done, you will see that SPS and SPP are ready to use. Let's see how to access on-demand services. In case of Safeguard on-demand, for management, there's only need an HTTPS connection. So you need your browser that uses HTTPS protocol, which is a fully secured connection. Users can log in the Starling interface, and that interface will redirect the user to the Safeguard interface. For asset management, account management, or the interface where your users check out the credentials, or for the sessions, that is how your users connect to the asset that is monitored by SPS, that requires a direct network connection. That also means your local network, either a local LAN or cloud, will be directly connected to one identity cloud. Only your instance, of course, to your instance. This connection must be protected, and this is done by the VPN tunnel, IPsec VPN tunnel. Management connection is initiated by SPP or SPS inside the VPN channel, similarly to the on-prem solution. So there's no need for installation any agent on the managed assets. Soon, a secure gateway will be released that replaces the need of IPsec tunnels. So we will provide a VPN-less connection method for Safeguard on demand. Now let's see Identity Manager on demand. For management, you only need an application server connection. That is technically an HTTPS connection inside a REST API. That's enough, and that covers 90% of the cases. Sometimes this is not possible or not feasible. In that case, a direct SQL connection is provided via a port forwarding, but that is only for black belted administrators, because this is a direct connection to identity management manager engine. At last, but not at least, we also provide a managed jump host via RDP connection, but be careful because that only supports 2 simultaneous connections maximum. A few more facts about Identity Manager on demand. First of all features are available that is available in on-prem version, except data governance. That module is not included currently. In case a customer wants to migrate from on-prem to the cloud version, it is totally possible, but requires the help of PSO, as the on-prem database requires some customization that needs to be adapted to be allowed to use in the cloud. That requires PSO help. Typically, a version upgrade is also required, and that is performed by One Identity on-demand operations. In the close future, we will release a tool that makes it possible that the customer can decide to upgrade on their own. This will allow them to make the upgrade independently from One Identity anytime they want. It's worth to mention that on-demand services parameters can be changed in 3 different layers. We have already seen that Safeguard on Demand configuration or Identity Manager configuration can be done by the customer via the web interface or via a simple RDP connection. That's one layer. The second layer is the parameters of the service itself. Then, in that case, the customer must log in the Starling interface and set up some parameters like contributors who can connect the interface, odd users, and stuff like that. And the rest must be requested via the support team. For instance, if you want to change the VPN parameters, you need to ask for it, and all administrators are going to change it because it is a deeper change. In our example, as you can see that Identity Manager subscription is going to run out soon, and Safeguard on Demand is still under evaluation. If you want to change it, then you need to purchase it. If you decided to purchase the product, you need to contact One Identity. Of course, you need to sign a contract, and then you're going to be notified via an email about the purchase information. And then our administrators, we call them cloud administrators, are going to change the licensing of your product.